So, further to my I just made a little short there about remote neuromonitoring, and I'm talking about the earbug. And, well, is it possible for the human mind on its own to do the earbug thing? It doesn't make logical sense, because you, as you, are not asking for that song to be played in your head, and you find it annoying. You want it to stop. So, it's being done without your consent. And you want it to stop, and you can't make it stop. If you're riding a bike or you're driving a car, if you want the vehicle to stop, you hit the brake and it stops. Things respond to what your will is. And if your will is that you don't want that radio quality song playing in your head, then your will is being denied. And with all this information about remote neural monitoring and watching how horrible it is when they turn it up full blast, and they turn it up beyond full blast in order to kill you, it's the most horrific torture device. And I'm sorry to tell you, but if you do have any time, or what the other one that you could make, the other one, if you can't remember earbug, do you just find that the ends of your nose is just itchy? You just get random itches. There's no bugs anywhere. You don't have dry skin. Maybe it's not too dry and it's not too moist. It's comfortable. But you have, out of the blue, you got a scratch. You got a scratch. You got a scratch. A lot of people like scratching in the end of their nose. They're like this. That itch is electronically controlled remote neural monitoring. And you know they can do that because they told you they were doing all of this development of non-lethal weaponry. And in Havana, Cuba, mainstream news reported that at the U.S. Embassy, the embassy workers were getting sick from microwave attack from the Cubans. So it's all there disclosed. You just got to put all these jigsaw puzzle pieces together, and then you're going to be horrified that they've got everybody on the planet on mind control. Trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars spent on military-industrial complex. And I always say the movie Firefox in 1990 with Clint Eastwood showed you that you could fly a modern jet fighter just with your mind. So you got mind to machine, direct connection, and then you get mind to machine to other mind, direct connection. Synthetic telepathy, and it works on everybody on the planet, regardless where you are in the scale of human consciousness. Why does that matter? Because we don't think at low levels of consciousness, that is lower on the scale of human consciousness, that the spiritual gift of telepathy is possible, especially if you're under 200. Because technical reasons given by Dr. David R. Hawkins, the consciousness researcher, and the person who was the partner of two-time Nobel Prize-winning scientist Linus Pauling. Just so you know, like, it's no fly-by-night guy. David R. Hawkins told us a lot of stuff, and his books should be read by everybody, and his YouTubes, there's all kinds of Dr. David R. Hawkins talking on YouTube. But he said, at the low levels of consciousness as a human, under 200, you do not have what is known as an etheric brain. That is a non-physical brain. All you have is this brain, the physical brain. The spiritual gift that happens to you at 200 is you get a non-physical brain in addition to your brain, and the two work together, and they change the way that your mind works. A huge, significant change from 199 to 200 on the scale of human consciousness. It's like going from ice to water. And Dr. Hawkins explained anger management happens when you hit 200. Automatic, because it changes the way the brain works. Under 200, you're a reptile. Your emotions rule you. And that's what leads to incredible violence. But at 200, with the etheric brain changes the brain signaling patterns so that instead of going directly from the reptilian amygdala, I think that's what it is, the reptilian brain, you start involving a different pathway. So your reaction is not based on knee-jerk emotion. You have more time to process what's going on. And you're not automatically reacting in anger to everything. Anyways, Dr. Hawkins explains it in his books. So if you want further detail, then you have to go to that's as far as I can go. And as you know, I'm under horrible remote neural monitoring attack. Horrible beyond belief. Why is it that I'm allowed to talk now when for the first year, when they turned this on full blast, maybe they turned it down? Because I don't know the answer. I really don't know the answer. But it's been 6 years. And over the 6 years, they've gone from, well, I've gone through all kinds of shit. I don't know. I just, they're on a losing path because they've lost the ability to do a lot of the horrible, horrible things that they've done. They still do incredibly horrible, horrible things. But they had the heart attack machine on me, the intention to kill me with the heart attack machine. There's a horror, enormous horror. And they've done enormous other horrible, unbelievable things, scrambling my mind and scrambling my heart at the same time. But they haven't killed me. It's been 6 years, and every day, constantly choking me, like force choke, like Darth Vader. Yep. This goes on all day long. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I gotta go pee, they start attacking me like this all day long. And natter, stupidest people you could ever imagine. Natter at you all day long, and you can't turn them off any more than you can turn off the earbug. Permanent earbug. And it's not music that you like. It's the most stupidest people. Chap. Cartoon characters. They base a lot of their character. They are. King Clancy is Clancy Wiggum from The Simpsons. So you got an actor who's acting as Clancy Wiggum he's over 5 years. The same actor playing Clancy Wiggum. And they just run his voice through that electronic thing. There's all those apps that go and change your face and they change your voice. That's all they do. Voice disguiser thing that makes it sound to me like it's Clancy Wiggum. An insane Clancy Wiggum. He calls himself King Clancy of the Insane Clown Posse. He stole that from some musical group. But he calls himself King Clancy, so it's KINGKLANCY of the Insane Clown Posse, and he spells clown with a capital K. Capital K is his thing. The insanity. Because when they first come in, you don't know anything about remote neural monitoring. That's a high-tech thing that's designed to drive you insane. What happened to me? I was sitting on the love seat at my mom's house. And all of a sudden I hear in my head, you be me and I be you. In an odd kind of way. And then he announced who he was. It's Rumpelstiltskin. And then I had a series of unbelievable, horrific electronic nightmares. Electronic nightmares beyond fucking belief how horrific it is. You feel the horror of things. You feel, they send horror, the emotion of absolute horror. They can beam it at you and you experience the most horrific horror Is it terrifying? Oh yes. Oh yes. It is shock and awe terrifying. And it goes on forever. And they do mind wipes at the same time. Men in Black, mind wipe, they do that in the middle of it. So you don't even remember. You don't remember who you are, anything. They block all your memories are gone. Completely blank mind. And then the torture of being unbelievable nightmare. 6 years. Terrorized. Hijacked. Unable to even tell people what's going on with you because your voice box is totally hijacked. The technology is unbelievable, horrific. And that's what the 1% are using on me and a lot of other people that are known as light workers. Those are people who are serious spiritual students about bringing heaven on earth. All those prayers, all the Lord's prayers that we said when we were kids at school, Canadian schools. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. And then if I'm screwing up my words along the way, that's electronic harassment. It's a wonder I can get anything out. But that's what the prayer is. On earth as it is in heaven. That is the prayer. Bring whatever we have in heaven to earth, God, please. That is what the prayer is. Bringing heaven to earth. It's the Lord's Prayer. It's been said so many times in the course of human history. And light workers are all about that. That's what we're all about. 100% on board with that. And that's what we call 5D Earth. And that's the song by the band The Fifth Dimension from about 1969, The Age of Aquarius. This is the dawning of the Age of Aquarius, Age of Aquarius, 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 harmony and understanding. And that was the dawn of it, 1969, more than 50 years later. We're more than the dawn, aren't we? Yes, because in 1969, it was before 1987. And 1987 was sea change in human consciousness. For the first time ever on planet Earth, the collective of all the humans rose above 200. What does that mean? Does everybody get? No. It just means if you were going to go and take humanity, all the people who are above 200 outweighed all the negative people under 200 in 1987. People at higher levels of consciousness counterbalance lots more individuals who are at negative levels, because there's more spiritual power as you go up the scale of human consciousness. So you don't need as many people above 200 as there are below 200 to counterbalance the negativity of the people at the bottom. So, 1969, we as a collective were under 200. We didn't have, well, I can't say we didn't have, we can't go into anything like that. So, 2 thumbs down on people doing this and doing So anyways, you went from 1969, the dawning of the age, to 1987, where we did the sea change. We went from being a hell world, to being not a hell world. But we're still a purgatorial realm. It's not heaven. We're all about making it heaven, to keep going. I was 4 years old. That was the previous generation that did that. There were 3 waves of volunteer star seeds that came after World War II, because the planet, Gaia, Mother Earth, called out to the universe and said, I need help because I've had nuclear war on the planet. And according to Dolores Cannon, 3 waves of volunteer souls, advanced souls, came and incarnated as human and had to go through some process of not remembering who they were. According to the Dolores Cannon story, she's on YouTube, Dolores Cannon, 3 waves of volunteers. You can go read that, because that's a good story to listen to. Because maybe you are a starseed and you just haven't woken up. Because that's what they say. Starseeds just wake up. They wake up to the fact that their purpose here is to raise consciousness and nothing else. Is to be here at higher levels of consciousness. And that's what's called holding space in the spiritual community. Holding space. So today, okay, I'll muscle test. I can't do it because I'm in too fucked up today by this horrible stuff. Trying to get muscle tests is difficult for me because of all this stuff. I don't know. You can learn how to muscle test yourself in order to find out where things are on the scale of human consciousness. You can learn from David R. Hawkins in one of his books, or there's lots of people on YouTube that'll tell you. Are you going to get good numbers? It's the best I can give you. Okay, what else do you need to know? This goes on all day. And if it's not my head, it's the end of my dick pic. All day long, having to hold my dick pic. Cover it up. Because if I cover it up, then it doesn't feel horrible. And they go and they do my head. They do my head at the same time as they do at the end of my dick pic. So I got to put one hand on my head and one hand on my dick pic. At night, before I want to go to bed. Or all day long when I'm just sitting down. All day long they go up. And there's no defense. There's no defense. And they're doing it now. It's just a horror. And they do all kinds of horrible feelings for your internal parts of you. It's the most sickening. Oh my God, the most sickening feelings. How did they get those feelings? I think what they did is they tortured people in the physical. And then they recorded the brain waves. Everything that they could record of that person. They recorded it and put it into the computer. And now they have a keyboard. And when they can just select whatever horrible thing that they did without anesthesia, God only knows what they did to these and that's what they do. And then they send that to you. They broadcast that to you and they tune in to you. Now, if you raised your consciousness to higher levels of consciousness, the natural telepathy comes online. Do I have natural telepathy? I get downloads, telepathic downloads from the universe. So that's telepathy. A lot of people on the universe. Sorry, can't help you out. YouTube. Talk about getting downloads these days. It never ends. 6 years of this shit. Have I convinced you yet? What I want you to take away from this is that there's only one way to escape this electronic nightmare, and that's higher consciousness. You're going to say, well, you got higher consciousness according to you, Bob. How come you're being attacked? And again, the answer is, I'm the canary in the coal mine. Because I'm a light worker. And it makes logical sense that evil people are going to go and attack people who are about higher consciousness and wisdom. Because they don't want me to help you wake up to the fact that I don't know if I'm a starseed. I have no idea. But I'm a light worker by choice. I'm all about raising consciousness so we manifest heaven on earth. That's what all light workers around the world are all about. And there's an awful lot of us. And we suffer horribly because of it, because of the attacks of the demons. If you've ever seen people who are sick, long-term sick chronic problems, fibromyalgia is caused 100% by remote neural monitoring, electronic harassment. They did it to me. One night, one of the characters called the Lady Notochord said, we're going to give you all of our bad karma. They call it karmic Miranda, after Miranda rights that you get, when you read your rights in the USA if you've been arrested. Karmic Miranda, they call it. And then what they do, instantaneously, I had unbelievable, horrible, horrible pains in my body. They just flicked a switch and they've never turned it off. Fibromyalgia. In addition to all this other horrible, horrible. These people are pure devils. Now, to get an idea of what a devil is really like, on Netflix, the TV show Merlin. You have to look it up. Merlin meets a demon. Merlin the magician. He's a magic guy in that, real magic in the show. Merlin. Well, you just look it up. You probably look on Google. Merlin meets a demon in the TV show. And then on Netflix you can watch it. Maybe YouTube would have a clip of it. But if you see that demon in that episode is exactly the way demons are. Exactly. Absolutely exactly. So I can talk and talk and talk and talk, but you watch that episode and then you'll know. In the end, how did Merlin deal with the demon? Merlin didn't know there was a demon inside a box. In the storeroom in the castle of King Arthur. But he was in there for whatever reason, and it wasn't marked or anything, and he was looking around to see what was in there. And he opened the box, and there was a thing in there. I think it was a green demon. And the demon got out and started deviling. In the end, Merlin finally got that thing. Do you want a spoiler alert or not? I have to tell you. Merlin put the demon back in the box, and he said that the box was a lead-lined box. So my crazy demons, Brett Beeson, who was else involved in this one? King Clancy, Eid the Rat. Who else was involved? Last fall. This all happened last fall 2021. It was when I was staying at the motel across the road from the Port Arthur Stadium in Thunder Bay, Ontario. I stayed there for a long time. Travel Lodge. It's an awesome place, location-wise. The place needs to be demolished. Don't stay there. Don't stay there. Don't stay there if you come to Thunder Bay. Don't. Anyways, I stayed there for a long time. And I had a great view of Port Arthur Stadium. I love that stadium. If you like small field, close to the field, what is it? It's, I don't know, semi-pro, I guess. Feeder leagues. It's a beautiful stadium. It's awesome. It is so cute. I can't think of a cuter place to watch baseball than the Port Arthur Stadium in Thunder Bay, Canada. And Thunder Bay has the Border Cats, and I'm trying to figure out if they're playing this summer or not. Well, I walked by the stadium, and there was no schedule on the outside of the door, so I don't think they have the league this year. It's horrible. Anyways, in those days, I was attacked by Brent Beeson quite a lot. And I don't know. It's been 6 years. All day, every day, never a day off. You get to know their personalities, these different electronic demons, people, demonic people playing demonic characters. Anyways, I was given to talk and talk and talk and all kinds of stuff. And in the end, we talked about Merlin and the demon in the lead-lined box. Black humor for the demons is talking about, okay, well, what if you got lead-lined boxes and, put us in there, Bob? Well, they don't call me Bob, they call me Uncle. You all know me as Bob Burrows, but the demons have long called me the name Uncle. Uncle Bob. I had some nieces. But they always called me Uncle. So, well, it's just strange. Anyways, Uncle was given to tell them that when their bad karma finally catches up to them, that one of the things that's going to be done to them is they're going to be put into lead-lined boxes. And Brent Beeson is the name he chose, this one horrible devil. And so we called it the Beeson Brothers Boxes. A Beeson Brothers box for putting demons in. I don't know, maybe it's not funny, but it was awfully funny. It was. It's an ongoing thing. Beeson never laughs. He never laughs. But he loves the idea of naming these boxes Beeson Brothers. Because he's created, over time, the Beeson-Atkinson crime family of a number of these horrible devils and their phony baloney characters. But they're real to me because they have never dropped out of their character. King Clancy has got different iterations of itself, different versions of itself, but they're all part and parcel of King Clancy, based upon Clancy Wiggum. It's a convoluted story, but it's 6 years long, and that's an awful lot of hours when I have nobody to talk to except these fucking electronic devils. Are they AI or are they people? They're people. Could they be AI? I don't know the real level of AI. For that matter, I don't know if we ourselves are AI. Because if you watch The Matrix, the original Matrix movie, how are you going to tell if you're in a pod the way Keanu was when he woke up? In that pod with all those cords attached to him. He didn't know. All of a sudden you're looking, what the fuck is going on here with all these cords? And because when you're inside that Matrix box, you cannot tell the difference between an electronically piped in reality to an organic brain or what we think is not in the Matrix. How are you going to know? So, because there's all kinds of people, oh God, not again. It's either, I think it's Nick Bostock. I got him confused with Nick Bostrom. But I think it's Bostock. A simulation theory. It's not my schizophrenia or paranoia, nothing. Psychosis, no. A real recognized guy that's, I don't know, white man science, I guess. I don't know, because they call it a lot, like settled science. Don't question this because it's settled science. And in Thunder Bay, people who are Howleys are known as white settlers to the indigenous people. White settlers are Howleys. Howleys are, in Hawaiian, the indigenous people there call white people Well, in the movies, you might have seen it in like Hawaii Five-0 or something. White guys who are just, I don't know, assholes, taking over the surfing of the native Hawaiians, taking all the best places, and not willing to share. They're called howlies, white devils. And what it means is people without breath. And breath to the Hawaiian is without soul. Without soul. Soulless. So we would say people without soul, cruel people. And if you watch the Celestine Prophecy movie, you see these kind of people. Jürgen Prochno's character in the Celestine Prophecy movie, he's a heartless son of a bitch, evil, willing to kill in order to keep he's a 1%er. He doesn't work. Obviously, he's got a lot of money, owns businesses, whatever, corporate industrialist. And he's all about, well, watch the movie. He's a soulless devil. You have to watch that movie because you really get a good understanding of what's going on. Okay, so if you're going to watch that movie, Celestine Prophecy, I don't know, I'm going to try muscle test to see. Most likely that guy goes between 150 and 199 in the scale of human consciousness, rather than trying to guess, because, I don't know, it's probably better just for me to go based upon my knowledge of the scale of human consciousness. When he's ready to kill, 150, Satan. When he wants to be very talkative and a smooth operator and, you know, the perfect salesperson who's going to strong arm you into buying something you don't want, 199, Lucifer. Lucifer the devil. They call him Lucifer the light bringer, and they try and make him out to be the ultimate angel. He's false light. He's a horrible, horrible, horrible devil. Anyways, anybody who calibrates in the 190s is Lucifer. And anybody who calibrates at 150, whatever their human name is, they are Satan. Satan kills and does the torturing, and Lucifer sets it all up. So, I'll leave you with that. The Celestine Prophecy movie, I just saw you could stream it at one place for $2.99 on the internet. So try that one. And if you want to understand the fake news and how they control you through the fake news and terrorize you through the fake news, then watch V for Vendetta on Netflix.